Hi, my name is Nicole Fick, and I am going over my presentation I did for my business research class. And I did a project on Procter & Gamble, and here we go. Procter & Gamble Company Research Project Proposal. Research is an important part of any company. Research in companies is never ending. It is used for many purposes. Research and development is a big use of research for companies when coming up with new products. For a company that has so many products, they're always researching on ways to improve their products. They're also learning information about customers' wants and needs, what they can do to improve on that. They can research into company strengths and weaknesses, ways to improve on weaknesses, how to stay above competition, prepare for changes in demand, and also they can find ways for better budgeting. Why? Why do we do research, and why is it important? As I kind of said before, the reason I am doing this research in general is, help retain current customers, stay ahead of the competition, and attract new customers. If we can research what it is customers want to get out of a company, we can better prepare for retention of customers. With as much competition out there, it is important we are staying current in research so we are able to stay ahead of demand and be first movers on any new developments. Being a first mover is when you come up with a new product that's not on the market yet, you are putting that idea out there first. What that does is gets you a lot of that first business from those customers. They want to be the first ones to get this stuff, so you get a lot of customers from that. This also helps your competitive edge, and it's very important to stay ahead of the competition when you have products that other companies also have. So that is good. And lastly, attract new customers. When finding out what customers want in a company, it not only helps keep current customers happy, but it also helps attract new customers, which is our goal, is to attract new customers and keep our current customers happy. My hypothesis was, does advertising and promotions help retain customers and attract new ones? The structure of my research. I did descriptive research. I used that method just because I do have a clear hypothesis. I wasn't needing to do a lot of digging and figuring out how things compare with each other. I was just trying to answer my hypothesis. I built a 12-question survey, which I used the ordinal scale. I did multiple choice questions. I did a lot of strongly agree, strongly disagree, yes, no, and then a couple of grouping ones to group male, female, and age group, so I could help kind of determine look at my research and figure out now, are the older generation, are they not as in tune to this? What kind of advertising is the older generation looking at compared to the younger generation? It really helps to see where we need to target our research, where we need to target our advertising for. Is the older generation failing? Is the 35-year-olds, do we need to target them with some different sort of research? So it just kind of helped set my research apart and help me kind of analyze it a little better. And then for this just short project, I just did 10 participants. If we were going to do it with a bigger group, the population of Procter & Gamble is about 5 billion people. So we would have a sample size of roughly 385 participants. The findings. Here are just some findings, some I found interesting and that really kind of touched on my hypothesis. The first one is I asked a general question. Are you familiar with Procter & Gamble products? In the beginning of my survey, I did give a little background listed a few popular products so people had an idea of what I was getting at. I know when I first started doing research with Procter & Gamble, I honestly was not sure exactly what products they did make. So it's good when handing out these surveys that I did give them a little background. After giving them the background and having them answer the questions, 10 out of 10 people are familiar with Procter & Gamble. That is pretty good odds. Then again, it is a pretty widely known product with a population of 5 billion. Let's see. I also asked, kind of to touch on that, I also asked people to how often they use Procter & Gamble products. I got 80% use Procter & Gamble products daily, and weekly I got 20% for that question. And also I asked how often do you purchase Procter & Gamble products. There's a little varying of question answers there. I got 20% for every week, 30% every 2 weeks, and 50% said every month. And that was still pretty good. Most people using it daily and buying it monthly. I also asked how people were satisfied with Procter & Gamble products. 90% said they were satisfied, and 1 said they were very satisfied. So Procter & Gamble has a very good reputation for being a good, solid company where their customers are happy. The next thing I went into my presentation I will go to is with certain promotions of certain brand, as in buy one, get one, 50% off, persuade you to stray from your preferred brand. So I wanted to know then if you were stuck on a certain brand and if you use that religiously, if you were to go into the store that day and let's say, Tide, they had buy one, get one 50% off that day. Would you go from your normal product to get that Tide because of the promotion? And that's kind of what my hypothesis is I was saying that people would. The promotions would encourage people to stray from their normal to try this new product. And hopefully, with as well as Procter & Gamble does, that they would stay there, and then that way we would attract and gain new customers. And out of that, 70% said yes, while only 30% said no. And that's still pretty good odds there. So that is good to see. The next question I asked was, how strongly do you agree that advertisements help consumers decide what company or product to purchase? So here I was wondering, do we agree that advertisements we see on TV help you decide what you want to buy or what you not want to buy? In here, about 50% agreed. We had some in the disagree and some in the strongly agree. The next question I asked, would you buy a different brand than normal due to an advertisement you saw? And here I saw a lot of no's, that just because they saw an advertisement about it does not mean they'd switch brands. So that kind of isn't what I predicted. I thought that advertisements would be more, would help people buy a different brand from memorable advertisement. But if we look back on the last slide, it said that they do agree that advertisements help them decide what product to use, but it might not sway them from breaking away from their normal product. So that might help us gain new customers who are, one thing I mentioned in my research is we have to look at the younger generation, people who are leaving mom and dad's house, moving into their first house. They're really going to be looking for products to use in their home. They're going to be the ones buying now. They're going to be the ones making the decisions. So this is where advertisements come in handy. I know as my younger self, when I watch TV, I see an advertisement, oh, I'm going to go and try that. If I don't already have a preferred brand of dish soap, toilet paper, something, if I see a memorable advertisement, I might go out and try that company. But if I'm already set in my ways on a certain product, a certain brand, an advertisement may or may not persuade me from changing a brand, if that makes some sense. So what does all this mean? Well, Procter & Gamble is a widely known product worldwide. It shows that promotions are successful in attracting customers. Memorable advertisements help pull in new customers, but may not sway other customers to leave their preferred product to switch to a different product. Advertisement is best paired with promotions, so good advertisement, memorable advertising, and also using advertising in different levels to target the different levels of people, different age groups, different populations of people. Added along with promotions would help sell products, will help gain customers, and will help retain customers. So hopefully with all that, we are increasing customer retention and attracting new customers. And that is the end of my presentation. I also have attached with my presentation is my Excel project, which has more charts and the results from my questions asked. I hope this kind of gives you a little insight on Procter & Gamble and the use of advertising and promotions. Thank you.